Ladies and gentlemen, silence is one of the most misunderstood yet powerful forces in life. In a world filled with noise, we often equate speaking with strength and action with accomplishment. But I'm here to tell you today, it is in silence that the greatest treasures are unlocked. Silence is the seedbed of wisdom. In silence, the greatest truths are revealed. It is not in noise, but in quiet reflection that clarity emerges. End quote. In a world filled with constant noise, voices shouting for attention, notifications buzzing, and opinions flying in every direction, we often forget the power of stillness. The need to be heard has overshadowed the need to understand. We equate speaking with action and noise with progress. Yet, if we truly desire to grasp the essence of life, to uncover the wisdom we seek, and to navigate the complexities around us, we must embrace silence as our ally. Consider for a moment the greatest leaders, innovators, and thinkers throughout history. They were not defined by their loudness, but by their ability to pause, reflect, and act with precision. Their silence was not a void, it was a tool. In the moments when they were still, they were preparing, strategizing, and allowing the world to reveal itself to them. Silence is the foundation of understanding. When you speak, you only repeat what you already know. But when you listen in silence, you open the door to new knowledge. Life often whispers its lessons. It does not shout. The person who masters silence learns to hear what others miss. They notice the subtle shifts in situations, the unspoken words in conversations, and the opportunities that present themselves quietly. In silence, we also gain control over our emotions. How often do we find ourselves reacting impulsively, driven by anger, fear, or frustration? Yet when we choose silence, we create space between stimulus and response. In that space lies our power to choose wisely. Silence teaches us restraint, and restraint is the hallmark of maturity. The strongest individuals are not those who always fight back, but those who know when to step back. This principle is evident in conflicts. Silence can disarm even the most heated argument. When someone expects a reaction and is met with calmness instead, their anger often dissipates. Silence doesn't mean surrender. It means you have chosen not to waste your energy on unnecessary battles. It shows strength, composure, and an understanding that not every noise demands your voice. Moreover, silence is a tool for self-discovery. In our moments of solitude, we confront ourselves. We reflect on our decisions, our values, and our purpose. Without silence, we risk being swept away by the opinions and expectations of others, losing sight of who we truly are. Silence allows us to realign, to refocus, and to remember why we began our journey in the first place. Patience is another virtue born out of silence. In a culture obsessed with instant gratification, waiting feels like a burden. Yet in silence, we learn the art of patience. We come to understand that the best things in life are not rushed, but cultivated. A seed does not grow into a tree overnight. It takes time, care, and quiet nurturing beneath the soil. Similarly, the dreams and goals we carry require seasons of silence to mature. This is why silence is often misunderstood. Many see it as inactivity, as though nothing is happening. But silence is not empty, it is full of potential. Think of a musician preparing for a grand performance. The moments before the first note are silent, but they are charged with anticipation. That silence holds power, for it sets the stage for something extraordinary. Divine encounters also come in silence. Throughout history, those who have sought guidance, inspiration, or revelation have often found it in moments of stillness. The noise of the world drowns out the voice of wisdom, but silence amplifies it. In the quiet, we are most attuned to the direction we should take and the steps we must follow. It's important to understand that silence is not the absence of sound, it is the presence of focus. When you are silent, you eliminate distractions and tune in to what truly matters. You gain clarity about your purpose and the path ahead. Silence sharpens your mind, strengthens your spirit, and prepares you to act decisively when the time comes. Everything within your power focus seems to bloom like Corina dried leaf. Everything within your power focus seems to bloom in the time of threat. Let us also remember that silence requires discipline. It is not easy to hold your tongue when provoked or to wait when impatience tugs at you. But discipline in silence reaps the reward of wisdom and strength. Each time you practice silence, You are training yourself to be more deliberate, more thoughtful, and more prepared for the challenges of life. Silence is the seedbed of wisdom. It nurtures understanding, fosters patience, and cultivates strength. It is not in the noise, but in the quiet moments that clarity emerges. Those who embrace silence do not fear being overlooked, for they understand that their time will come. In silence, the seeds of greatness are planted, and when the season is right, they will bear fruit. Silence is not just the absence of words, it is the foundation of everything worth having. Listening over speaking is one of the most crucial distinctions between those who merely communicate and those who truly connect. We live in a world where everyone wants to be heard, where the noise of opinions often drowns out the essence of understanding. Yet the most powerful communicators are not those who speak the most, but those who listen intently. Listening is an art, and it requires more than just hearing the words. It involves absorbing the meaning behind the words, understanding the intent, and being attuned to the emotions and nuances that often go unsaid. In a conversation, it's easy to fall into the trap of preparing your response while the other person is still talking. We've all done it, waiting for the opportunity to jump in, to share our thoughts, or to offer a solution. But true listening requires that we suspend our own agenda for a moment and truly focus on what the other person is expressing. It requires patience, humility, and the ability to silence our own inner voices so that we can hear the other person fully. When we listen, we not only gain information, but we also build trust. People feel valued when they are heard. They feel acknowledged, seen, and understood. In this environment of respect, communication flows freely. If we are always in a hurry to speak, we may miss the opportunity to understand the deeper layers of what is being shared. Silence in these moments allows us to digest the words, read between the lines, and form a response that is thoughtful and meaningful. It is in the moments of silence before responding that we have the opportunity to choose our words wisely. Silence equips you to understand before you respond. By taking the time to reflect on what has been said, we avoid reacting impulsively. This is especially important in high-stakes conversations, where a hasty response can lead to misunderstandings or escalate conflict. A thoughtful pause, a moment of silence, enables you to gather your thoughts and respond with intention, rather than being driven by emotion or the desire to win the conversation. Number 4, listening also enhances our ability to learn. Every person we meet, every conversation we have, offers an opportunity to learn something new. The greatest minds of our time are those who listen more than they speak, because they recognize that everyone has something valuable to offer. When we listen, we absorb ideas, perspectives, and insights that we would otherwise miss if we were too focused on expressing our own thoughts. Silence, then, is not just a tool for understanding others, but also a gateway to personal growth and wisdom. It's important to note that listening does not mean agreeing. Sometimes, we listen in silence to understand a different point of view, even if we disagree with it. True listening is not about validation, but about seeking to understand the person's perspective and showing them respect. When we listen without judgment or the immediate urge to correct, we create an environment where honest, open dialogue can take place. This is how relationships are built, through the genuine understanding that comes from listening. Silence also provides the clarity needed to ask the right questions. When we are quick to speak, we often miss the opportunity to probe deeper, to understand the motivations and emotions behind the words. In silence, we allow ourselves to process the information fully, and in doing so, we become more capable of asking insightful questions that guide the conversation forward. These questions often reveal hidden truths, spark new ideas, and strengthen our connections with others. A person who listens more than they speak possesses a quiet strength. It takes discipline to hold back your words, to be patient, and to resist the temptation to interrupt. But this discipline pays off in the richness of the conversations we have and the depth of understanding we cultivate. Listening in its purest form is an act of humility. It acknowledges that we do not have all the answers and that there is always more to learn. It values the perspective of others and opens the door to growth, both in our relationships and in our personal development. This is the magic potency of the YBAT. Ultimately, silence in listening allows us to connect with others on a deeper level. It allows us to hear what others are truly saying beyond the surface level words. It creates an atmosphere where trust, respect, and understanding flourish. In our world of constant chatter and constant need to be heard, the most powerful thing you can do is be still. Listen intently and respond with wisdom. For in listening, you not only hear the words, but you also hear the heart behind them. And in that connection, the deepest form of communication occurs. Silence is a weapon, not a weakness. In a world where we are often encouraged to speak up, defend ourselves, and assert our opinions at every turn, silence can appear as though it's a sign of surrender or passivity. But the truth is, silence, when wielded correctly, is one of the most powerful tools we can use to navigate life's challenges. It is not the absence of power, but the strategic use of it. Consider how silence can disarm conflict. In moments of tension, when emotions run high and tempers flare, the natural response is to engage, to argue, to defend, or to counterattack. Yet, it is in these very moments that silence can break the cycle of escalation. When faced with anger, aggression, or criticism, instead of reacting impulsively, we can choose to remain silent. This pause shifts the power dynamic. It creates space where the other person is forced to reconsider their words or actions. They may find themselves at a loss for how to continue, their energy dissipating in the face of calmness. Practice gives you power. This strategic use of silence doesn't mean giving up your voice or agreeing with everything said. It means choosing to hold your ground with quiet strength. When we remain silent in the face of conflict, we demonstrate that we are not easily provoked. We show that we are in control of our emotions, that we do not need to react to every challenge or insult. Silence sends a message that you do not operate from a place of insecurity or defensiveness. Instead, you are grounded, focused, and not swayed by the chaos around you. Silence is often misunderstood as a sign of weakness. People might assume that someone who chooses not to speak is passive or lacks confidence. But in reality, silence demonstrates self-restraint and a deeper understanding of the situation. It takes much more strength to remain silent than it does to engage in a verbal battle. When you respond immediately or angrily to every slight, you give away your power. You allow your emotions to dictate your actions. But silence puts the power back in your hands, allowing you to choose your response thoughtfully without the impulsive reaction that can lead to regret. Reconnecting with your higher power creates a foundation for your recovery and continues to get you back on the right path. This is why silence can be a powerful weapon in leadership and conflict resolution. Great leaders are not those who speak the loudest, but those who know when to speak and when to remain silent. Silence in these moments provides clarity. It gives you time to think and discern the best course of action, while those around you may be caught up in the heat of the moment, acting out of emotion or misunderstanding. Moreover, silence allows you to observe and gather information that would be missed in the noise of constant verbal exchanges. When we speak too much, we often reveal more than we intend. But in silence, we are able to listen more effectively, to notice the unspoken truths, and to assess the situation from a place of calm. This gives us a strategic advantage, enabling us to make decisions that are not based on reaction, but on reflection. There is power in silence because it allows us to assert boundaries without words. For example, in a conversation where someone is trying to manipulate or control you, responding with silence is an effective way to refuse participation in their game. You are not engaging in the drama they are creating. Instead, you are preserving your energy, your dignity, and your sense of self. This refusal to engage on their terms can force the other person to recalibrate and reconsider their approach. Pain is even useful when necessary to re-establish control over something, such as a moment of silence also conveys authority. In many situations, the person who remains calm, composed, and silent often earns respect simply through their presence. Their silence speaks volumes about their inner strength and confidence. People who are truly secure in themselves do not need to fill every space with their voice. Their silence communicates that they are grounded, that they do not seek validation or approval from others. This silent confidence commands respect and is far more impactful than any words could ever be. Another powerful aspect of silence is its ability to de-escalate volatile situations. In conflicts where tempers are flaring, the loudest voices often fuel the fire, making the situation worse. But silence, when used strategically, has the opposite effect. It can calm the storm. By not contributing to the noise, you can create a space where cooler heads prevail. This de-escalation allows for better decision-making and ultimately leads to more constructive outcomes. When we choose silence, we are also making a choice to focus on our own inner strength. Instead of reacting to external forces, we turn inward and draw on our own sense of purpose, values, and emotional control. This internal focus allows us to navigate challenges with a sense of peace, knowing that we are not governed by the external noise, but by our own steady presence. Ultimately, silence is not a sign of weakness. It is the mark of a person who understands the power of restraint. It is the strength to resist the urge to react, to choose peace over conflict, and to let your actions speak louder than words. In a world that constantly demands more from us, more words, more noise, more attention, silence offers a refreshing, powerful alternative. When used with intention, silence is not just a passive response, but a weapon that can transform conflict, empower us, and demonstrate the strength of character. Divine moments come in stillness. Many of the most transformative encounters in life happen not in the hustle and bustle, but in the quiet moments when we pause and allow ourselves to be still. It is in these sacred moments of silence that we are most open to the whispers of divine wisdom, the guidance that often eludes us when we are distracted by the noise of daily life. Life is full of noise, distractions, demands, and a constant rush to move from one thing to the next. We are often so busy chasing after the next goal, the next achievement, or the next task that we forget to stop and listen to the deeper currents beneath the surface. But the truth is, divine moments, those moments that shape our lives, our purpose, and our destiny, rarely come in the midst of chaos. They come when we are still enough to hear the call of something greater than ourselves. They come when we spend a long time alone with ourselves. They come when we spend a long time alone with ourselves. When we embrace silence, we create the space for those divine moments to unfold. It is in the quiet that we can hear the small, still voice within, the voice of intuition, guidance, or divine insight. Often, we expect life-changing moments to be dramatic or loud, filled with signs and signals. But the most profound experiences of wisdom and direction often come in the simplest moments of stillness, a quiet thought, a sudden realization, or an unexpected feeling of peace. These are the divine moments that lead us toward our greater purpose. Think about the times in your life when you experienced sudden clarity or insight. Chances are they did not come in the midst of noise or confusion, but in a quiet moment of reflection. Whether it was during a walk in nature, in the stillness of early morning, or in a moment of deep contemplation, these were times when you allowed yourself to be present and open. In these moments, the noise of the world fell away, and you became attuned to a deeper, more profound wisdom. Divine wisdom often comes as a whisper, not a shout. It doesn't demand our attention with urgency, but gently beckons us to slow down, to listen, and to trust. In a world that is always urging us to do more, to be more, silence invites us to simply be. It invites us to connect with the divine within and around us, to listen for the subtle nudges that guide us toward the right decisions, the right path, and the right relationships. When we take the time to be still, we create the conditions for divine inspiration to flow. This stillness allows us to hear what our hearts are saying, to discern what our spirit is guiding us toward, and to understand what our purpose truly is. In these moments of quiet, we may receive a vision, a thought, or a sense of direction that changes the course of our lives. These are the divine moments that shape our futures, and they come when we are open to receiving them, when we create the space for them to enter. Divine moments in stillness are not just about receiving answers. They are about cultivating a deeper connection with the divine presence that surrounds us. By quieting our minds and hearts, we align ourselves with a higher power, allowing us to access wisdom and understanding that transcends our limited human perspective. Silence becomes the doorway through which divine guidance enters, illumining our paths and helping us make decisions that are in alignment with our true purpose. Think of the times when you have been uncertain, when you didn't know what direction to take. In those moments, if you were able to step back and embrace stillness, you likely found that the answers came naturally. It was not from a place of frantic searching or striving, but from a place of calm surrender and trust. Divine moments come when we allow ourselves to trust in the stillness, knowing that the wisdom we seek is already present, waiting to be revealed. In addition, stillness helps us to reflect on the past and gain insight into the lessons that have been placed before us. When we rush through life, we miss the lessons hidden in our experiences. But in silence, we are able to look back and see the connections, the signs, and the messages that we might have missed in the noise of daily life. This reflection allows us to grow, to understand our purpose more clearly, and to move forward with renewed strength and clarity. It is in the stillness that we can hear the voice of our highest selves and the whispers of divine wisdom guiding us toward our highest good. When we embrace silence, we open ourselves to the possibility of receiving these sacred moments. These are the moments that lead to profound transformation, the moments when we receive the clarity, direction, and inspiration that shape the course of our lives. Silence is not just the absence of sound, it is the space where divine wisdom enters. It is the quiet where we hear the still, small voice that leads us toward our destiny. If we want to experience divine moments in our lives, we must learn to embrace stillness, to listen in the quiet, and to trust that in those moments, the guidance we need is waiting for us. Patience is perfected in silence. In a world that values speed, instant results, and constant action, patience is often seen as a rare and difficult virtue. Yet, patience is not something we are born with. It is something we cultivate, and silence is one of the most powerful tools for nurturing this quality. When we practice silence, we are not simply withholding words. We are training ourselves to endure, to wait, and to respond with wisdom rather than haste. Patience, at its core, is about the ability to endure difficult situations without losing hope, without reacting impulsively, and without allowing frustration to dictate our actions. It is about trusting that everything unfolds in its right time, and that our journey is not defined by how quickly we reach the destination, but by the depth of our experience along the way. Silence plays a crucial role in this process because it creates the space for patience to grow. When we are silent, we remove ourselves from the noise of the world, the distractions that pull us in multiple directions, the pressure to perform or respond immediately, and the anxiety of feeling like we must keep up. In silence, we learn to be present in the moment, without rushing ahead, without trying to control the outcome. Silence helps us to let go of our impatience, allowing us to focus on the process rather than fixating on the end result. It teaches us to trust that in time, everything we need will come to us. Wow. Patience is about trust, and trust is nurtured in stillness. When we practice silence, we quiet the doubts and fears that often arise in moments of uncertainty. Silence allows us to focus on what is within our control, the present moment, and to release the need to worry about what is beyond our reach. This act of trusting in the process, in the timing of life, is what strengthens our patience. It reminds us that we do not have to rush. Everything will unfold as it is meant to. In addition, silence teaches us to be mindful of our thoughts and reactions. In moments of stress or pressure, our natural instinct may be to react quickly, to speak out of frustration, or to make hasty decisions. But silence offers us the space to pause and reflect. In that pause, we find the ability to respond thoughtfully and with patience, rather than reacting out of impulse. This is where strength is born. Not in the ability to act immediately, but in the ability to wait, to remain calm, and to choose our actions wisely. The practice of silence also gives us the strength to endure. When faced with challenging situations, it is easy to want to escape or take immediate action to resolve the discomfort. But true strength lies in the ability to endure, to stay the course even when the road is long or difficult. Silence strengthens us by allowing us to be with our discomfort, to sit with it, and to process it without the need for external distractions or responses. In that stillness, we learn to bear the weight of our circumstances without being overwhelmed by them. Patience is also perfected in silence because it teaches us to be comfortable with uncertainty. Life does not always unfold according to our plans. There are seasons of waiting, of not knowing what comes next, or of being in a place of transition. Silence helps us embrace these moments, allowing us to be at peace with the unknown. This is a great skill to develop because it forces you to think at greater lengths than ever before. It teaches us that not everything requires an immediate answer, and that sometimes the best course of action is simply to wait, to observe, and to trust that the next step will reveal itself in time. Life is an invocation of the spiritual bent, and the spiritual bent is stronger than the physical. This is where true patience lies, not in waiting passively, but in waiting actively. When we practice silence, we are not merely doing nothing. We are allowing ourselves to grow, to reflect, and to prepare for what is to come. In those moments of silence, we build resilience, we gather strength, and we become better equipped to handle whatever challenges lie ahead. The quiet moments of silence allow us to recharge, to reflect, and to gain the perspective we need to move forward with greater wisdom. Patience is not a passive state of inactivity, but an active process of preparation and trust. In silence, we learn that everything has its time, and that rushing or forcing things only leads to frustration and missed opportunities. Number 7. By practicing silence, we not only gain patience, but we also develop the inner strength to endure whatever life throws our way. We learn to wait with grace, to remain steady in the face of uncertainty, and to trust that the seeds we plant today will bear fruit in their own time. Silence teaches us that patience is not about waiting for the right moment. It is about being fully present in the moment we are given, knowing that everything is unfolding as it should. Everything is unfolding as it should. In this way, patience becomes a powerful tool that empowers us to navigate the challenges of life with peace and purpose. By practicing silence, we perfect our patience, and through patience, we gain the strength to endure, to grow, and to achieve everything that life has in store for us. Lillian, silence prepares you for greatness. Every great leader, visionary, or achiever understands the value of silent preparation. In our fast-pacing world, there is often a temptation to rush towards success, to leap into action, or to constantly be moving and doing. However, the most impactful people know that greatness is not born from constant noise, but from the quiet moments of preparation, reflection, and internal growth. In silence, you lay the foundation for everything that is to come. It is in these moments of stillness that you hone your vision, clarify your purpose, and solidify your intentions. When you spend time in silence, you allow yourself to go beyond the surface level of your thoughts and desires. You connect deeply with your inner self, your values, and your purpose. This silent reflection is the process that prepares you to step onto the stage of life with confidence, clarity, and authenticity. Greatness does not come from immediate action. It comes from deliberate preparation. In silence, you develop the discipline to resist the urge to rush into things without proper thought. You cultivate the patience to wait for the right moment, knowing that every action must be grounded in purpose. Silence teaches you that timing is everything, and that every great accomplishment is built on the quiet hours of planning, strategizing, and self-reflection. It is easy to get caught up in the noise of life, the opinions of others, the demands of society, and the distractions that pull us in multiple directions. But silence allows you to tune out these external forces and focus on what truly matters: your vision, your dreams, and your purpose. In the quiet, you find the strength to block out the noise and remain steadfast in your journey toward greatness. You keep your gaze on the virtues rising before you, steadfast in your journey toward greatness. The time spent in silence is a time of self-discovery. It is when you are silent that you are able to listen to your inner voice, that deep knowing that guides you toward your destiny. Silence enables you to identify what truly matters and what distractions or illusions are merely getting in the way. Without the constant clamor of life, you can hear your inner calling more clearly. It is in these quiet moments that you receive the insights and inspiration that shape your path toward greatness. Greatness is not something that happens overnight. It is the result of consistent preparation over time. When you spend time in silence, you build the character, resilience, and mental clarity that will support you when the challenges of life arise. The work done in silence is what strengthens you for the moments when the spotlight shines on you, when the pressure is on, and when you are called to lead. The strength you gain in silence is the very foundation upon which your success is built. Furthermore, silence cultivates self-awareness. In a world that constantly demands our attention, it is easy to lose touch with who we truly are. But in silence, we reconnect with our authentic selves. We become aware of our strengths, our weaknesses, and our potential. This awareness is vital for greatness, for without it we risk being swayed by external pressures and losing sight of our true purpose. Silence allows you to reflect on your growth, assess where you are, and realign yourself with your deepest values. Preparation for greatness is not just about acquiring skills or knowledge. It is about developing the mental, emotional, and spiritual fortitude to handle the demands that come with success. Silence provides the space for you to cultivate these qualities. In moments of quiet, you learn to ground yourself, to center your thoughts, and to find inner peace amidst chaos. This calmness becomes your strength in times of uncertainty, helping you stay focused and resilient when challenges arise. Every great leader, artist, entrepreneur, or innovator spends time in silence. They understand that their external success is a reflection of their internal preparation. The time spent alone in stillness is what equips them to handle the demands of their roles and to rise to the challenges before them. It is during these silent moments that they clarify their goals, set their intentions, and fine-tune their vision for what they wish to achieve. Silence prepares you for greatness because it allows you to build a strong foundation from within. It enables you to connect deeply with your purpose, cultivate resilience, and gain the clarity needed to navigate the complexities of life. In the silence, you discover the strength to endure the trials that come with pursuing your dreams. It is through these quiet, reflective moments that you prepare yourself for the impact you are meant to make in the world. Greatness is not something you rush toward. It is something that unfolds in the quiet, deliberate moments of preparation. Every great achievement is the result of countless hours of silent reflection, planning, and growth. If you want to achieve greatness, you must learn the value of silence, for it is in those moments of stillness that you are truly prepared for the stage of life. In conclusion, silence is not merely the absence of sound. It is the presence of power. It is in silence that we discover our true selves, that we connect with our divine purpose, and that we prepare for the greatness that awaits us. It is in the stillness of life's quiet moments that we gain the clarity, wisdom, and patience needed to navigate the complexities of our journey. Every great leader, every visionary, and every achiever has understood this timeless truth, that greatness is birthed in silence. In silence, we learn to listen, to reflect, to endure, and to grow. We gain the strength to rise above the noise of the world and to move forward with purpose. Silence equips us to handle the challenges that come our way, to transform adversity into opportunity, and to shape our destiny with conviction. It is in these moments of stillness that we hear the whispers of divine wisdom, guiding us toward our highest potential. So let us not rush through life in search of validation, approval, or immediate gratification. Let us embrace the quiet, for it is in that space of peace and reflection that we unlock the greatness within us. It is in silence that we become the leaders, the innovators, and the change-makers we are destined to be. Remember, silence is not the absence of power. It is the very foundation of it. Let us, therefore, choose silence as your companion on the path to greatness. Be still, be patient, and trust that in the quiet moments of your life, you are being prepared for something extraordinary.